Ever since the skirmish broke out in Galwan and other areas across LAC, India has been making moves to counter the Chinese aggression and also defend it with all its might, the economic edge that China seems to possess. Assuming China's power continues to grow, India will need to cooperate and work more closely with friends and allies in mobilizing a coalition of like-minded countries to check Beijing's predatory economic practices, oppose its attempts to close off portions of the global commons, and deter the Chinese aggression and keep the peace. But more importantly, why is such a competition necessary? What are the stakes? What are China's aim at intensifying rivalry and economic and its manufacturing might? How should India redefine its goal and reshape its strategy in response? India, for one, must shed its illusions and grid for the long-term strategic competition with China. We should instead become a global manufacturing hub ourselves, forgetting what the Chinese are doing. In this talk, Vidya Sagar, President of Laghu Udyog Bharathi, Telangana, talks about the strategies that India needs to adopt, not only to match up with the Chinese, but also becoming a high-quality manufacturing base.
See, we are not having the border problem now. We have been having this problem for almost 60 years. Our first war was 1962. So last time when President Xi Jinping was here with our Prime Minister, we had a Doklam problem. Okay, we have been inviting Chinese investors into the country. Today, you know, Paytm belongs to them, and many of the companies, they have invested here. So government has been inviting Chinese investors into the country. So there is no provocation that be banned today. Okay, the issue here is why we are opening our eyes today. Today you wanted to ban, so why didn't we ban earlier? We had similar problems earlier also. Why didn't we ban earlier? Post-COVID, what happened? There is a backlash all over the world. You take it from President Trump had come, and then there had been always a trade war between both of them, and there's a tussle every time. And Europe, back off due to lack of transparency on COVID, Europe said, we will stop. We will rethink on doing business with China. Australia is almost stopping it. So this is an opportunity to India. It is see, COVID in India has come as blessing in disguise for the industry. So this is not a new thing that we need to ban Chinese products. If you have seen, we keep hearing every 5-6 years that we ban Chinese products, but that doesn't make much difference at all. We can survive without Chinese products, barring very few things. At the same time, China is not making a big fortune by exporting to India. In terms of Chinese whole exports, India is only 3%. In Chinese exports globally, 3% is only India is only importing 3%. India, with a population of 130 crores, okay, 1.3 billion, we are importing $75 billion worth of products from China. And in Netherlands, a country which is just having 2 crore people, they are also importing 75 billion. Germany is importing roughly $80 billion worth of stuff from China. So it doesn't make big difference to China if India is not boycotting the goods. And if you look from Indian angle, we have been importing for maybe in the last 8-10 years, it's becoming more. But then we have seen people burning Chinese goods on the streets, plastics, mugs and all that. Those things we could have avoided. We have skill, we have everything, we have manufacturing industry here. So if you ask me, can we survive without imports from China? Yes and no. In the immediate term, maybe it's slightly difficult. Some segments of the industry, but definitely in medium and the long term, we can definitely stop. But why do you want to stop? What I'm trying to tell you is, you compete with China globally. You grow your industry. You start import substitutes. Not necessarily it should be from China. Why not Vietnam? Why not Malaysia? We are due to this FTAs. Lot of Indian industry is importing from almost all SAARC countries. So the duty free. So why only China? You don't import from anywhere. And coming back to China, yes, we have been importing consumer goods. We have been importing furniture. That was not warranted. Simply because there is a price advantage, people were buying. There was a time, Chaitanya, China used to be called as cheap and best.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But today it is low cost and best. It's not cheap, it is low cost. That means they have learnt over a period of time how to produce good products. We can't imagine how big China is. So today, India becoming a China is very difficult. It may take a couple of years, provided the reforms and then the support from the government to MSMEs and the industry continues like this. Provided we all go to a thinking that we have to be manufacturing up globally. If that is the case, then you can definitely let us not just discuss about China here. We are talking in 2020. Why don't you make products which are at par with Germany or Japan or US? Do that. In 2020, why do you want to do what China has done in 1980? So we can live without China. Okay. Only thing is we need to pull up our socks, and then our industry has to be more strengthened. Government has to support in many things. Like we are not on common level playing field with China. Like their capital cost is low. They have very high efficient labor. Their infrastructure is amazing, and then their micro and small units are so strong. Their supply chain is extremely strong. So it is built over the last 30 years. So we can be a China in next 25-30 years, but being a China in next 5-10 years is very difficult. So we can avoid Chinese imports, but not immediately. And on one hand, you are taking FDIs. Other hand, you are signing up a lot of joint ventures with Chinese companies, and the other side you wanted to ban them. You take one stand, you can't take two stands at all. This border issue, is it new?
No.
It's not new. We had Doklam also. So, and many times we heard that Chinese aircraft flying, the military aircraft flying into Indian arena and then going back. What have we done all these years? Why are we opening our eyes? And what is the provocation today that we ban Chinese goods? You set up your house in order. You do your industry. You make your industry stronger, and then you make there has to be a friendliness with the industrialist. There is a phobia that an industry, an owner of an industry, is not fair. No, we are generating revenue, we are generating wealth, we are generating employment. The government has to support the industry. The way micro and small units, or for that matter even large units, are supported by governments in various countries. We are only talking of China, which is really, I don't think it is not fair. Because our total importation, as I mentioned, is 3% to them. And our exports from India to them is 10%. And you know what we are exporting? We are exporting 30% of gems and jewellery. It is not coming from a manufacturing unit. And we are exporting ore and minerals. Why do you want to export ore and minerals? And importation, you are importing, the maximum importation is machinery, about 35%. Another 15% is nuclear reactors. And 4% only is this consumer goods, or 35 includes your mobile phones, electronics and all that. So you can produce machinery. Mobile phones could have been designed and produced in India long back. Why haven't we done? It's not rocket technology. We have in all other areas, defense we are strong. We have built up many things. Missiles we built up. So why didn't we take a decision of being an electronic country also? Yeah, that is the major thing actually. Pharma intermediaries are very highest because of economic scales of viability. We have to go back to 1980s. They had huge volumes between 80 and 90, but then they lost. They did not care about pollution at that point of time. They did not care about the labor, welfare, and they were not operating as profit and loss account. It was only receipts and payments. The volumes were so huge So they built up the volumes over a period of time. So that gives them leverage on minimum highest economic scale. So with economics of scale, they are cheaper. Pharma is very important. We have been importing, yes.